everyone, I'm Flo, Duties Behind the Camera. We're all about simple food, simple faith. We are making a steamed halibut with black bean sauce the way my mom would make it. This is a dish I remember mom making when I was a kid, and it still is one of my favorite. She didn't use halibut, but usually would use a black cod, but halibut was on a sale this week, and it's a Greenland halibut, and these steaks are about 10 ounces, and 10 ounces each, and they were like $6 a steak, so to me that's pretty good for halibut because it can get quite pricey. Because this is something my mom used to make, you know it's going to be simple and easy to do. Let's get to it. I'm starting with 2 teaspoons of sugar. Now sugar is used to balance out the flavors, and I'm adding 1 tablespoon of rice wine, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just using kosher salt, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground white pepper. Just going to stir this up just to dissolve that sugar. Now the black bean that we are using is a fermented black bean, and so it's quite salty, and so that's why this sugar here will help to balance out that flavoring. I'm just going to evenly distribute this over the fish. I should mention the plate. The plate I am using is a little bit, has a bit of a lip so that the sauce that's created isn't going to overflow out of the dish. And this dish also needs to be able to fit in whatever you're using to steam it. So I'm using my wok, and I know that this dish is going to fit perfectly in there. If you like these simple food ideas, please click like and subscribe to the channel. I'm also using 3 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to remove the skin, and bashing them actually helps with the chopping process. Just want to mince up the garlic. Once you've minced up the garlic, I'm going to grate my ginger over top. And it's just a small piece of ginger. You want about a tablespoon or more or less, it's up to you. But the ginger will help remove any of the fishiness of the fish. I like to grate the ginger because I find I can't chop it up fine enough. That's why I've grated it here. I'm also using about a tablespoon of a black bean. Now this is fermented black bean, so you can't just use regular black bean. You're not going to get that black bean flavor. And I'm just going to, well, I've rinsed it, and now I'm just going to put it on top here, and we're going to chop everything together. Sometimes I find in restaurants they just leave the black bean whole, which I don't like, because you bite into like a big piece of black bean and it's not a good flavor, I think. I mean, some people might like that. I just like to mush it up. So we want this to be the paste-like. And I remember my mom would just put it in a bowl and bash it with the back of her cleaver. Not the back of her cleaver, but like the handle. She would just use it like a mortar pestle. I just find this easier. Yeah, so here is the topping. We're just going to evenly distribute it on the fish. Sorry, I think I dropped some on the floor. If you want to add more black bean, you can do that. You just might want to adjust the flavor of the sauce. You don't want it to be too salty otherwise. I'm just getting my wok ready. I have water in there that doesn't like completely cover the trivet, so we want the fish to be able to sit on top to be steamed and not touching the water. Just gonna leave it on high to bring it up to a simmer. Just put the lid on, it'll go faster. Once the water is boiling, I'm gonna turn it down to about a medium, and we're gonna get our fish going. The lid on. And we're going to steam it for about 12 minutes. If your steaks are thicker, it might take about 15 minutes, but we're going to check it at 12. While the fish is steaming, we're going to get some garnish going. I'm using about 6 sprigs of cilantro, which my mom would not use because she doesn't really like cilantro, but I really like it. And I'm also using 2 green onions. in 12 minutes. To check doneness, take a chopstick and poke through to see if you can poke all the way through. And closer to the bone so that if there's any resistant, then it's not fully cooked through. Yep, it's done. All right, we're gonna get our green onions on there. Turn off the heat. And our cilantro as well. We're just gonna cover it back up for about 30 seconds just to wilt the herbs. All right, that's it. Okay, carefully remove the fish. Okay, one last step. Heating up a pot. And I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil or whatever cooking oil you're using. And we're just going to heat that up until it's hot. Turning off the heat, adding just a teaspoon of sesame oil. And I'm going to pour this over our greens. Oh, it smells so good. And that's it. Are you all ready for
the taste? If you grew up in a Cantonese family, for sure you would have had some form of fish, whether it be the fillet or the whole fish, but the black bean, garlic, and ginger is where it's at. I'm a lazy fish eater, so a fish that has a lot of bones, having to spend all that time picking through the bones, dude, why bother? But when you have a fish like this, the halibut, that's so meaty and has little on the way of bones, now that's my kind of fish. You can smell it, the aroma of the black bean is like pungent but reminiscent and nostalgic at the same time. And if you make this fish, you gotta have it with rice. And if you don't have that rice, don't make it. Well, very harmonious flavors. And you gotta do it and make it for your family because it's wholesome, it's good, it's simple, it's inexpensive if you make it at home. And you get all the flavors.
Awesome, thanks dude.
Yep.
There's nothing like simple home-style dishes. For this recipe, check it out on my website, FLO'S.com.